Hi, my crafty friends and family. This is Liz with Liz's Crafts, and today we're going to be using some scrapbook paper from this book here that I got from Michael's recently. So it's actually a fall one. It says pumpkin vines, and it's under recollections. So we're using 2 sheets from this book. We're going to use this sheet here. I've partially cut it. And then this sheet here. Again, I've cut that one too. So what I'm going to do is my Mod Podge method with the iron. So I'm going to put my Mod Podge on my surface. And you want a generous amount of Mod Podge. My paper is pretty thick. I always buy the thick paper. I don't like the flimsy scrapbook paper. And you want to make sure that you get the edges and the corners really well. That's where your paper tends to pull up. So make sure you get quite a bit of Mod Podge around the edges and in the corners. And this board does soak it up a little bit, so. Okay, we're going to go ahead and iron this. I'm doing it while it's wet. I know other crafters wait till it's dry and then they do it, but I haven't had any luck with that. The only thing you have to be aware of is when you first put your iron on, your paper is going to slip around. So you don't want to move your iron, you just want to sit it on there until it starts to adhere. And my iron is just a regular clothes iron. I took it off steam and I put it on the linen setting, which is the highest setting there is. Now you don't want to keep your iron on your paper for an extended period of time because it will burn. And now since it's adhered somewhat to the board, now I can move my iron around. Okay, now I'm just looking for excess Mod Podge around the edges. I'm going to get that off for when I sand it. So I'm just going to set this aside now, and then we're going to move on to our next piece. And sorry, I didn't tell you what my pieces were. So this came like this. It was a Christmas tag that I had gotten from the Dollar Tree for $1. So I took it apart. And I like to do where the design was because I like my backs to look nice. So I don't, I know some crafters, they craft on the back and just leave the front the way it is. But I don't like doing that. Because I do try to sell my crafts. And I want it to look nice on the back. So I'm just going to pour a bunch of Mod Podge on here. And I'm going to spread it out. And I'm just using this Crayola brush. I really like it for Mod Podge. It's my favorite brush for Mod Podge. And I need some more. So I laid some paper down on my table here, so I wouldn't get Mod Podge all over my table. It does tend to get a little messy. Maybe you're not messy with it, but I am. Okay, so I'm just checking my edges, my corners. Looks good. Okay. And then then I want to get my paper, put that on there, and I'm going to line up this one edge here that I've already cut. Now my paper is not long enough to go all the way to the bottom of the piece, but that's okay because we're putting this right on here. And I shouldn't have Mod Podged that bottom part, but I did, so we're gonna go with it. Okay, so again, you just want to lay your iron on your piece for now. Moving it, picking it up and moving it. You don't want to slide it on there, because if you do, then your paper is going to slide. So you want it to adhere first before you start sliding your iron over it. Okay, now I'm just sliding my iron over it. And you need to be careful when you're touching this paper as you're ironing it, because it does get hot. And you want to squish the bubbles out. Take this and put it this way. See some bubbles over here. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. I'm gonna leave my iron on though, because I might need it later. Sometimes you start to see some bubbles, and then you're gonna need to take your iron to it. Okay. Now what I want to do is take my sanding block, and I think I can put my Mod Podge away. I'm use my sanding block on here to get off the excess that's on the edges. I'm going to go around each edge, and I'm kind of going across it in a slanted motion. So see, we have one edge already done. Let's go to the other edge here. As you're sanding, that edge just pops right off. It does take a little effort though. You're not going to get it, you know, in a couple seconds or whatever. You need to be patient. But I do like the way that it looks when you do this with the sanding block. Okay, so I have 3 edges done, and now I'm going to do the last edge here, and then we're going to start on our tag. Tell you, it does wear out your arm. Whew. just a little bit right here. Okay, now what I want to do is go on the top of my board on the edges. And this just gives them kind of a worn look. An aged look. I'm going to go over the whole face of the paper here. And this is what we have. Isn't that nice? And it looks like this paper came on this piece of MDF board. Not that I put it on there. Okay, so I want to trim up this piece right here. Okay, and then I want to do the same thing with my sanding block on here. Now I want to try to stay out of this glue here. I shouldn't have put the Mod Podge at the very bottom because I was going to put my piece on there. But you know, I'm not here. I mean, I'm human and I make mistakes, so I messed that up. But it's not going to make a difference. We can still do what we want to do with it. I just really don't want to get that on my shirt. In this way, it's making too much noise. Okay, come on now. I really don't have to do much to this side and this edge because I pretty much lined them up. So we just have this piece here on this side to do. And I can tell I'm getting Mod Podge all over my hand, but it's the price we pay, right? Now to help it along, I'm just going to go over the edge this way. I'll kind of cut it a little bit. See how that's pulling off. Okay. So there we have that taken care of. Now I'm going to set this paper aside. And then what I want to do is go ahead and put my bottom piece on here. Oh, you know what? I didn't go over the top or the edges. And I wanted to do that. Just giving this a light sanding. And you see, I don't know if you can see or not, but it's making the paper lighter in some places. Okay, that's what I like. So now I'm going to continue on. So I'm going to move this iron out of the way. We're good with that. My paper's stuck down. So let's keep going. Okay, now I want to glue this on here, and I'm going to use hot glue and E6000. Now, you put your E6000 on first, and I'm just going to put a blob here and there and hope it sticks, even though it's kind of wet. I'm going to put it towards the bottom of this paper here because we're covering that up. And then I'm going to use my hot glue. Now what this does is I have gone to an outdoor craft fair selling my wares, and my pieces have fallen apart. Not all of them, but some of them. I was only using hot glue. I was not using E6000 along with it. And what happens is it was colder and the hot glue gets kind of brittle, and then your piece kind of falls apart. Or if it's in the summer, it's real hot, your hot glue melts and your piece falls apart. Your E6000 is going to keep it in place. So I'm going to put a strip of glue above where I did that and below where I put the E6000 on, and then I'm going to put it at the side edges. And then we're going to put this on here. And I want to make sure the sides and the bottom are even. Okay, looks good. All right. Now too, there's a hole in the top of my tag here. So I need to punch that through because I'm going to put my hanger right back through there. So I need my hole. So I just punched it with this tool here. Just like that. And now we can get to our stenciling. Okay, so the stencils we're going to use today are from a Maker Studio, and I will put links to these in the description. So I'm using two different stencils. So this stencil is called Bible Verses, and it has the word hope, which is what we're going to use today. It has He is able. I haven't used that one yet. Be still and know, which I've used. The Lord is on my side, I will not fear. I have used that one. And nothing can separate us from his love. I haven't used that one yet. And then Woman of God. I have not used that one yet. So I have several that I need to use in this packet. So the next one I'm going to be using is just a little stencil. It actually has 3 stencils in it. Do what you love and love what you do. And then the other 2 are work like you don't need the money, and then blur the lines between work and play. So those are these right here. So you get 3 stencils in this packet. Okay, so I'll put the links to both of these stencils in the description, and I'll put the link to the chalk paste that we're going to be using in the description. So the first thing I want to do is this one here. I want to place it on my tag, and I want to do it towards the bottom and centered. You do not need to fuzz these stencils, but they are adhesive and they are wonderful. I'm going to put that right there. And then I'm going to use this chalk paste here, and it is called So On and So Forth. It's a turquoisey blue color, and I want to see about not doing the word, well, I guess I'm going to have to. Yeah, I'll have to. Never mind. So I'm going to do this in the So On and So Forth, which is a turquoisey blue color, or a teal blue. So I'm just getting a blob on my spreader, and then I'm putting it on my stencil, and then going in a downward motion to scrape the chalk paste into the screen portion of my stencil. And you want to try not to get off of your stencil when you're doing the chalk paste. Otherwise, you'll get it on your project, and you don't want that. So you need to be careful around the edges. Show you what it looks like so far. This this is what we have. Okay, now as long as you take care of your stencils, you'll be able to use them a lot. And I'm talking like 20, 30 times. I have used some of my stencils over and over and over and over. They look horrible because, you know, the inks and the chalk paste do stain them a bit. But as long as you keep the screen portion of the stencil clean and free of chalk paste or ink, then you're going to be fine. Okay, let me get a little bit more. It's going to be so nice. And if you're not sure if you want to do this, or if you feel like maybe you can't do the stenciling, I'm here to tell you you can. It's very easy. They make it simple, and however, they do have kits. And if you want to purchase a kit, just go to the link that I'm going to put in the description to my store, and then just look up kits. Okay, so we're done with the so on and so forth. I'm just going to remove my stencil here, and you're going to see how awesome this is. Look at this. We can reveal this together. Isn't that cool? Wow, I love this. Do what you love. Love what you do. Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to put my stencil face down in my water, and I'm going to swirl it around. And that just ensures that the chalk paste does not stick in my screen portion of my stencil. Okay, so next what I want to do is the hope. And if you like what you see here, please do this. Either on Facebook, which is Liz's Crafts, or on YouTube, which is Liz Yonke. That's my channel, and I have like 16 subscribers, and I would like to get to 50 if possible. If you guys could get me there, that would be great. So I'm just going to put my hope stencil here. I want to try to center it as much as possible. I think that looks pretty good. And then, well, I do kind of have it off to the left a little, I guess. You know what? I'm just going to leave it. Okay, so the chalk paste we're going to use for that is called I Reckon. And it's a kind of an off-white. Nice and creamy. And I'm just going to put, again, my chalk paste on my spreader here. This is going to look so cool. Oops. Maybe if I turn it this way, it will be easier. And I also have Liz's Craft Friends, which is a group on Facebook. It is a closed group. However, if you search for that in Facebook, and you find it, there's 2 questions that you have to answer. If you answer yes to those questions, I will approve you for membership. And there in the group, you can share pictures of crafts that you have done. And I would love to see crafts that you make from my videos. Just, you know, to see your take on it. Because you're not going to do it exactly the same as I am. You have your own taste and color and style and whatever. So, yeah, I would love to see pictures of what you make. Alrighty, so Now I'm going to peel this off. Okay, it didn't do, there must be something going on with this chalk paste because maybe I need to thin it down. This is the second time I've used it and it didn't do a great job. So I think that I need to add some distilled water to it and stir it up real good. However, I am kind of liking the way it turned out. It just makes it look like it's worn and old. So I'm going to leave it this way. I like that actually. And I'm going to get out my heat gun and I'm going to dry my chalk paste. Excuse me. Because I don't want to mess it up. I think this is dry. Let's just get this a little bit more in here. And I'm going to show you how to take care of your chalk paste. So if you'll excuse me for a minute, I'm going to get my spray bottle. And I'm going to show you how to fix your chalk paste. And hopefully this will work. I think it's just a little dry. So what you can do is you put some squirts of distilled water in there. So that's about 5 squirts. And then you're just going to take your chalk paste and you're going to stir it up. I'm just going to add a couple more squirts to that. And again, I'm going to stir it up. And then I think the next time I use this, it will be fine. Okay. So that way it'll be ready to use the next time. Okay. So the next thing I want to do is I have this packet from the Dollar Tree and it's laser cut words. This is love. And I thought it went well with this since we're talking about do what you love what you do, and then hope. So I'm going to put this up in the corner here like this. And again, I'm going to put some E6000 on it and some hot glue. A little bit more. So I'm going to get it on this key part. Okay. So I have my E6000 on. You want to make sure you put it on first because it has a longer drying period. Your hot glue is going to dry like right away. So I'm going to put a strip along the key here at the bottom and then in certain places here on the other letters. Okay, and I'm going to decide where I want it. I think about right there, and then I'm just going to hold it for a few seconds. There we go, and you get 3 of these in a packet for $1. So that's like 33 cents each. Okay, now I just have this piece of braided jute that I braided. I'm going to fold it in half, and I'm going to thread it through my hole here. Now, as I'm pushing it, I'm pulling it with my fingers too. I think I'm going to need a little bit of help. So I'm going to use this tool again to help me push that. Oh no, oh wait. Oh yeah, it's going through this time. Not the whole thing. Okay, come on. Let's do this. There we go. Okay. So there we have it. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the ends through the loop. I'm going to pull it. Pull it. Okay, just like that. And then so I can hang it, I'm going to have to tie a knot in these two ends here. Now I can either cut these two knots off or I can leave them. So I'm going to look at it and decide, what do I want to do? I think I'm going to cut them off. Okay. So this is what I have here. What do you think? Is this something you might do? The board came from the Dollar Tree and it was $1. This was from the Dollar Tree. So you get 3 in a pack. It was 33 cents. Then you have your stencils and your chalk paste and your glue. And then the scrapbook paper came from Michael's in a big packet. And then I have my jute that it came from Hobby Lobby sometime after Christmas when it was 75% off. And I just braided it and put it on there. So I'm going to hang this on my wall. I'll take a picture of it, put it on Liz's Crafts and Liz's Craft of Friends. And if this is something you like, please do this. Facebook and YouTube, I would appreciate it. And if you haven't already liked and followed Liz's Craft page, please do so and turn on your notifications so that you'll know when I put a new video out there. My videos go out Monday through Friday at 11:30 Central Time. I'm not able to go live due to my internet service. So, I hope you like this. I think it's cute. I like the blue. Anyway, I will see you in the next video, but until then, people, keep crafting. Bye, y'all. I love you.